looks like the video should be a lot smoother. I turned the megabytes per second way down. So the previous live stream that I've done, that's currently on my YouTube channel, that was done straight through YouTube. This one's going to be going through a thing called OBS Studio, and I'm saying this out loud mostly so I can see it later myself and I can remember what the settings were. But this is going through OBS Studio at like 500 megabits per second. So I turned it way down and it's compressed a lot. If you're watching, you have no sound. No sound. So the previous live stream that I've done, let's see, is that helping? Currently on my YouTube channel, that was done straight through YouTube. This one's going to be going through unless it's going through OBS Studio, and I'm saying this out loud mostly so I can see it later myself and I can remember what the settings were. But this is going through OBS Studio at like 500 megabits per second. So I turned it way down and it's compressed a lot. One moment. If you're watching, okay, you have no sound. No sound. So the previous live stream that I've done, let's see, is that helping? Currently on my YouTube channel, that was done straight through YouTube. This one's going to be going through unless it's going through OBS Studio, and I'm saying this out loud mostly so I can see it later myself and I can remember what the settings were. But this is going through OBS Studio at like 500 megabits per second.
Check for your resolution. Resolution. Okay.
If you're watching,
all right.
Okay, you have no sound.
Hello.
So
to Alaska.
let's see, is that
Still no sound.
straight through YouTube. This one should going to be going through unless it's going through OBS Studio. And I'm saying this out loud mostly so I can see it later myself and I can remember what the settings were. But this is going through OBS Studio at
Good
like
afternoon.
500 megabits.
No audio. No sound.
Resolution.
Okay.
If you're watching,
Shoot. All right. Okay.
you have no sound.
Hello.
So
Not quite sure where that's Alaska.
let's see, is that
I
still
may
no
have sound. Have to go offline if I can figure it out shortly.
But this is going through OBS Studio at
Good
like
afternoon. No audio. No sound. Shoot. Weird. Okay.
no sound.
Hello. Not quite sure where that's Alaska. I may
no
have sound. Have to go offline if I can figure it out shortly. Good afternoon. No audio. No sound. Shoot. Weird. Okay. Hello. Not quite sure where that's Alaska. All right, I'm gonna keep talking in case I do get the sound on. But I'm not seeing where in the settings it will go. Because in the preview I had settings, or in the preview I had sound getting into the YouTube preview. So sound was going through the OBS Studio into the settings or into the YouTube stream. But why I lost sound once I did get into the live stream, I'm not sure. All right, I'm gonna keep talking in case I do get the sound on. It is good to test things. But I'm not seeing where in the settings. It's funny. I had sound. Because in the preview I had settings straight. Or in the preview I had sound getting into the YouTube preview. So sound was going through the OBS Studio into the settings or into the YouTube stream. But why I lost sound once I did get into the live stream, I'm not sure. All right, I'm gonna keep talking in case I do get the sound.
Super
on.
quiet,
It is good
but
to
I'm
test
there.
things.
Wonder what that is.
It's funny. Mixer. I had sound. Because in the preview I had settings straight. Or in the preview I had sound.
All right.
Getting
Okay, hold on,
into the
folks.
YouTube preview. So sound was going through the OBS Studio into the settings or into the YouTube stream. But why I lost sound?
Okay, I might have an idea.
I'm not sure. All right, I'm gonna keep talking.
Super
I'm
quiet.
gonna slowly turn things up.
Wonder what that is.
I don't want to blast people's eardrums though.
Now hearing the sound almost in reverb like it's echoing. Okay.
Okay.
Watch your volumes. I'm going to mess with some
might have an idea. All right, I'm gonna keep talking.
Weird. I wonder what's going on.
I can talk louder.
Eardrums though.
Can you hear louder when I'm shouting?
Now hearing the sound almost
Loud,
reverb like
loud.
Okay.
Watch
You're gonna
your
fix this and blow out.
values. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Going
yeah.
to
Caution.
mess with some
Caution.
audio.
Watch your eardrums.
Okay, I might have an idea.
I'm not quite sure what. I could mess with these
Weird.
XLR
I wonder
inputs
what's
too.
going on.
I can
I'm
talk
really nervous
louder.
about cranking up the
Can you hear
volume too
louder
much.
when I'm shouting?
Now hearing the sound almost
Loud,
reverb like
loud.
Why Google or why is it doing that? Caution.
You're gonna fix this. and
Hold
blow
on,
out.
folks. Watch your volumes.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
mess with some
yeah.
meters now. Caution.
Caution.
It sound almost like a reverb.
Caution. Watch.
That almost
your
seems worse.
eardrums.
Like it almost would have been easier if it was just no audio, as opposed to.
I'm not quite sure what. I could mess
or
with these
audio.
XLR
Okay.
inputs
What's
too.
going on?
I
I'm
can
really
talk
nervous
louder.
about cranking up the
Can you hear
volume too
louder
much.
when I'm shouting?
Now hearing the sound
Volume
loud.
loud,
Why
down,
Google or why is it
case,
doing that? Caution.
You're gonna fix
Blast.
this. and
Hold
blow
on,
out.
folks. Watch your volumes.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
mess with some
yeah.
meters now.
Caution.
It sound almost like a reverb.
Caution.
Making a change.
Watch.
Turn down volume.
That's almost
your
seems
eardrums.
eardrum.
It
Hear
almost
you
would have been
back-
easier if it was
hear you
just
back.
no
Good.
audio.
Good
as
now.
opposed
It's
to,
good. I'm not quite sure.
It
what-
sounds good.
I could mess
or
with these
audio.
XLR
Okay.
inputs
Very
too.
odd. You got an odd echo going on.
I can
I'm
talk
really nervous
louder.
about cranking up the
Can you
volume
hear
too
louder
much.
when I'm shouting? Volume.
I don't think
loud,
it's
in the environment.
Why
It must
is
be
it
something in the
You're
hardware.
gonna fix this. Hold on, folks. Watch your volumes.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
mess with some
Is
meters
it
now. It's
still
almost like a
quiet?
reverb.
Caution.
Making a change.
For
Turn down
most
volume.
It's
of
almost
your
seems
blast.
eardrum.
It
Hear
almost
you
would have been
back.
easier if it
Hear
was
you
just
back.
no
Good.
audio.
Good
as
now.
opposed
It's
to-
good. I'm not quite sure.
Sounds
what-
good.
I
Okay.
could mess
Or
with these
audio.
XLR
Okay.
inputs
Very
too.
odd. You got an odd echo going on.
I can
I'm
talk
really nervous
louder.
about cranking up the
Can you hear
volume too
louder
much.
when I'm shouting? Volume.
I don't think
loud,
it's
in the environment.
why
It must
is
be
it
something in the
You're
hardware.
gonna fix this. Hold on, folks. Watch your volumes.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
mess with some
Is
meters
it
now. It's
still
almost like a
quiet?
reverb.
Caution.
Making a change.
For
Turn down
most
volume.
It's
of
almost
your
two sources of
eardrums.
sound.
It almost
Oh.
would have been easier if it was just no audio.
Good now. It's
Double
good.
play
I'm
sound.
not quite sure.
Sounds
what-
good.
I
Okay.
could mess
Or
with these
audio.
XLR
Okay.
inputs
Very
too.
odd. If you got an odd echo going
taking
on.
I
I'm
can
really
talk
nervous
louder.
about cranking up the
Can you
volume
hear
too
louder
much.
when I'm shouting?
I check.
Volume.
I don't think
loud,
it's
in the environment.
Wonder if
It
that's
must
what
be
it is.
Something in the hardware.
Hold on, folks. Watch your volumes.
I know.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
mess with some
Is
meters
it
now. It's
still
almost like a
quiet?
reverb.
Caution.
Making a change.
For
Turn down
most
volume. It's
of
almost
your
two sources of
eardrums.
sound. It almost
Oh.
would have been easier if it was just no audio.
Good now. It's
Double
good.
play
I'm
sound.
not quite sure.
Sounds
what-
good.
I
Okay.
could mess
Or
with these
audio.
XLR
Okay.
inputs.
Very odd.
too.
If you got an odd echo going
taking
on.
I can
I'm
talk
really nervous
louder.
about cranking up the
Can you
volume
hear
too
louder
much.
when I'm shouting?
I check.
Volume.
I don't think
loud,
it's
in the environment.
Wonder if
It
that's
must
what
be
it is.
Something in the hardware.
Hold on, folks. Watch your volumes.
I know.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna mess with some
Is
meters
it
now. It's
still
almost
Oh.
like a
quiet?
reverb.
Hold on,
Making a
something.
change.
Is that any better? Whoa, okay. Because my meters look good. Like I'm looking at my OBS studio and the meter looks good, but it almost looks like it's on repeat. Oh, shoot. What is that? Okay. Well, it almost looks like there's a delay from what I'm... Have you cloned yourself? Oh. That'd be cool. I wish I could clone myself. Yeah, cool. It's on a delay. Okay, all clear now. Desktop audio device. All good? Sounds good? Everyone is in agreement? The sound is good? That's perfect. Oh, perfect. Okay, what it was... Bueno. Yes. Muy bien. Bueno. I think it was something about the desktop audio was maybe it was I think what was happening was the sound would go into the mic, go into the sound card or sound processor in the computer, and then that would play it back through the speakers, and then that might be getting picked up again through the mic or through the OBS Studio. So it might have been cyclical with that sound, I think. All right. But I wanted it to do it this way because I have a second monitor set up, and what I wanted to test live was to be able to cut away to footage. But what's also bugging me is I think I might have set it up with like a 5 or 10 second delay. So like I'm looking at myself in OBS Studio talking in real time, but then I look at the YouTube live stream preview and it's like 5 or 10 seconds behind. Actually more, maybe more. So you're hearing this a little late, and I may try to share a link into Facebook because I want to test being able to bring traffic in from Facebook, as well as show you guys when I cut away. I want to cut away to a video that I recently shot but I haven't posted. So we're going to attempt that, and if I break it, I apologize. So let's see. Hard to do multiple things at once. I was flirting with the idea of purchasing another monitor because I feel like I'm going to run out a lot of screen space trying to do multiple things. Probably the sensors. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Oh, yeah, I guess. Well, there's a thing on a, I don't know. Sam Harris had a guy on his podcast recently where they talked about Facebook. And this is a long tangent I probably shouldn't get on. But they were talking about Facebook and about live streaming because there's that New Zealand shooter that broadcasted live, or Facebook lived the shooting. And they're saying, like, Facebook or YouTube or these social media guys are almost asking the government to regulate them, because that way, if they get regulated by the government, they don't have to take the blame for being overly regulatory on their platform. Because now the platforms are like, well, are we a utility or are we a private company? What are we? It's like, well, let's just have the government regulate us. So this issue of live streaming can be in the hands or the jurisdictions or stuck in the bureaucracy of the government. So I don't think it's the censors now, but in the future, who knows? Because obviously the government regulates live television where it has to have that 10-second delay. But if you ask the YouTubes or social internet platforms to do it, there's really not the manpower to regulate, what is it, like 500 hours of video uploaded every hour or something like that. It's really hard to regulate. So I don't think it's the censors this time. Talking to Matt in the comments, but if you're being also facetious or sarcastic, I get it. I know where that's coming from. I get you. Okay, so for fun, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to cut away to, let's see. Okay, we're going to do a test here. I hope you're all waiting. I'm going to hit the transition button and hopefully not break the stream. So, fading to second display, fade. Okay, are you guys seeing, are you seeing like a video of not me? Anyone in the comments? Let me know. Let's see, this is going to run for a few minutes. Okay. Okay. Oh, yep. Oh, nice. All right. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Matt. Yes, Dustin, thank you. What you're seeing, this is a community dump site where the garbage company I work for, my day job is with a garbage company. The garbage company I work for, we were so overburdened with trash because of the neighborhoods that were flooded that the transfer station that trash usually goes to, yes, this is barely a fade, seemed to go right there. No need to real delay. Oh, okay. That video clip ended. I'll start another one. Okay, yes. But the answer to your question, Dustin, is yes, this is all from properties that were flooded. You want to notice how many mattresses are in this. That's usually not what you see when people throw trash out. You don't typically see all that much mattresses and couches and furniture. Household trash is usually like, you can tell when someone's remodeling or just throwing out bagged garbage. But this is like people bringing in trailers of their house, or trailers of all their household furnishings and just dumping it. And then we have a separate pile for hazardous waste. You can see that over in the corner of paint and chemicals or fuel or that kind of stuff, where we have to keep that stuff separated and dispose of it safely. And we got this cleared with the environmental protection. No, what was it? Not environmental, not EPA. Department of Environment Quality, DEQ. I think it was a DEQ dude. That's how it looked down here on the Gulf after Katrina. Oh, yeah. Oh, I can only imagine. Yeah, Katrina was of massive more scale. Okay, so watch this. I'll queue up another clip for you guys, and I'm gonna try to bring over some folks from Facebook and see how well that works. This is gonna be okay. This is gonna be maybe a little shorter. I don't know how long this clip is. We'll see. Same look as it was out in Long Island after Sandy. Piles. Yeah, the thing about after Sandy, or that storm Sandy on the East Coast, I remember they were saying if you're in the market for used cars, be very careful about where they came from, because apparently the used car market was just, pun intended, flooded with cars that had water damage. And they spread them across the country, or people try to keep passing them off, and to see where they could finally find someone to buy them. So I remember when I was buying a car, recently I bought a used car. We do have a long way to go get back where we were. I think. Okay. Oh, Dustin, are you from Nebraska? Okay. I'm gonna take a short break. I'm gonna copy a link, send it to Facebook, and then see if I can get traffic from Facebook over to here. So watch this clip. I'll have to get you a new one soon. Okay, testing a live stream. YouTube. All right. Oh, couldn't process the request. That's silly. I was trying to copy this link into the Facebook, but we'll just bring up another video clip. I'll look at that later. We're gonna take a look at, what was it? There was a highway by Nickerson and Arlington. Is this the clip that I want? Nope, that's too short. Okay. I believe this one is between Nickerson and Fontenelle. All right, I'll try to catch it. Born and raised, Dustin. Cool, nice, Dustin. Born and raised. Grand Island. Live out in Connecticut. Bought the cars. Did that go? 4 new models as well. Yeah. Setback on planting season. I know there's some guys that will not be planting a lot of ground this year at all. And there's some, I was watching an article or a news story that was also an article. There are some guys saying, well, it might be even next year they won't be able to plant. This video that we're looking at now, you'll see what crops were affected. I might get to that question. I'd say, well, anything close to the river was certainly affected. Corn, beans, hay, and every once in a while you'll see someone planting in Nebraska something other than corn or beans, but it not very often.
But what we're seeing now is this big gap in the trees. I assume there was probably some trees along the river that are now uprooted and taken away. You can kind of tell the path of the water that the water took. And that sand could be like 2 or 3 feet deep. So even if you brought in bulldozers, you're exhausting a lot of manpower just to scrape all that sand away or try to make it so you can get to the soil to harvest it or to plant and get some use out of it. So the question is, like, what effect will this have? I mean, there's going to be some acres that will never be planted again, probably for a certain generation, I imagine. Oh, I've been hearing about this YouTube channel, Adapt23. There's some things that I read in the comments, like the comments on these videos I've been posting. A lot of them are on the edge of like conspiracy theory, and I've dabbled in every conspiracy theory there is on the internet. So there's very few of them that are foreign to me. This one that I've been hearing about is like the cycle of the solar flares or sunspots. The sun goes through a cycle, and I don't know anything really about sunspots and solar cycles. I know every 11 years you go through a sunspot cycle. And at one point in the late 1600s, early 1700s, there's a unusual cycle where there was like a mini ice age, and that affected a lot of crops globally. There was a dude on Joe Rogan's podcast named Randall Carlson. I think he briefly talked about it, but his focus is usually on great floods throughout, not just modern history, but like through like almost ancient history, like 10,000 years ago or 20,000 years ago or further. So this clip's about to end. What I wanted to show you was another one that was closer to Arlington. Wonder if this is it. Okay. This clip is taking off from Arlington, flying west to Fremont. This little tower over here, that's over by Fremont. Like, if you go down this highway about 6 or 7 miles, you'll be in Fremont. And I would guess, I wasn't there when this place was flooded, but from about where this cursor was all the way to Fremont was underwater. Maybe a few houses were spared, but there was a lot of this that was just submerged, and you'll see the most evident damage of it. But these farm places over here, they're all underwater. And I've also seen examples where like grain bins were full of crops, and when like corn or soybeans soak up a lot of water, they swell, and they busted out the grain bins, and they poured out all the grain on the ground, and it's spoiled and it's lost. So some of these farmers, not only have they lost acres and acres of plantable grounds to being covered with sand, they've also lost what they harvested from the previous year. And that's going to cause a crisis for some families, for sure. And then there's other guys that had livestock as well as grain. So they had their livestock get washed away in the river or floodwaters. And then the ones that had livestock that survived maybe lost all their feed. And one of the most touching things I've seen in all this is watching videos of these hay convoys bringing in hay from all over the country. You'll see hay coming from like Ohio and Kansas, and then as far as Maryland and Oregon. I know there's some coming from Oregon, some came from Minnesota. I can't remember where else, but it was a really incredible thing to witness. Now, I've kind of stopped responding to some of your comments because my brain is not quite used to queuing up video, telling you what we're seeing, and reading comments and trying to respond to stuff. So if you've asked me a question in the comments and I've scrolled past it or I didn't see it, I'm not ignoring you deliberately. I'm ignoring you, but not on purpose. Not trying to be rude. Then these guys, in this video that I got queued up, I kind of felt bad, like I might have been snitching on these guys because these are areas you're not supposed to be crossing. I don't know if these guys were affiliated with the work or cleanup crew because they weren't doing anything, and they all left separately. You are welcome, Sylvia. Oh, did you come from Facebook, Sylvia? I sent a link there to test that out. Matt's question on dealing with insurance. There is an emergency hotline where farmers can get some relief. I think the deadline is coming up. I think the deadline for relief might have been the 29th, but do not quote me on that. If you are a farmer that's in need of aid, I don't know if 29th is, I know sometime in April is the deadline. So if you do need some sort of assistance, I'm not saying it's an insurance assistance. It might have been some sort of, I think I saw it on Farm Bureau's Facebook page where they had something going on to offer some sort of financial relief. But as far as flood insurance goes, I don't think the majority of people had flood insurance. That garbage pile, let's see. Let me go back to that garbage pile. Actually, you know what? Some of you might be watching this. We'll fast forward. Make sure it clips towards the end. Yeah, this clip's about over. Let me go back to that garbage pile. Oh, this is just a picture of the garbage pile. Ugh, gross. I'll take that down. All right. So, the question of not on Facebook. I'm on Facebook person. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you, Sylvia. Good to know. I only asked you that, Sylvia, because I posted a link on Facebook to have people direct people over to here, but I wasn't sure if it worked. It might not have posted something about Facebook not wanting to take the link. But going back to the question on flood insurance, there's a lot of people that did not have flood insurance. There was one lady I remember, I was helping her unload her truck because part of my job in this video that you're seeing here, part of my job was using a wheel loader to push the garbage in or direct traffic because the traffic became a nightmare trying to manage this when it got busy. But, oh, yeah. And then these guys hand unloading their trailers. I saw a lot of that. Felt bad for them. But this lady was unloading her trailer. And I'll bring up another one. And she said that she bought the house, and the guy said, "Oh, I've lived in this house for 60 years, and I've never had an issue with flooding." She's like, "We lived in this house for 6 months, and we've lost everything." She's like, "No, there's no flood insurance on it." And that's fairly common because they're like, "Oh, this place doesn't flood." Where are the folks sleeping? Oh, Mary asked a good question. Where are the folks sleeping? For a while, all the hotels were packed for for a few days afterwards. And I think some were packed as well because Fremont, for a brief time, was just an island. No one could get in, no one could get out. So Fremont was isolated. So there's some commuters that were stuck in town. And then, I think, let's see, Red Cross came in and opened up what was it? I think a former J.C. Penney's that was closed down. They converted into a makeshift shelter. So I think there's some people staying in a J.C. Penney's, and some might be staying at churches because we delivered some extra garbage cans to local churches and just said, you're going to need these. So part of my route is running a front load truck where you dump these big commercial cans. So I've been picking up or making these extra stops at these churches, trying to dump that stuff. Yeah, I don't think you guys seen this clip yet. I'm just queuing up random videos. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Matt. There is a lot of home insurance that will not cover flood insurance. And there's even some people that said that Flood insurance would not cover anything unless the door breached the water breached the threshold of the door. Because like some people would get water coming up through their basements, and that would not be covered under flood insurance. Okay, what else do we got? Okay. All the trash. Okay, Mary asked another question. All the trash is going to landfills. That trailer, you'll see it show up soon. Once it all gets loaded in a trailer, it just goes to a landfill like any other regular trash. And then that trailer has like these walking floors that as the floors are shifting and walking, it kind of dumps the trash out. So yeah, the only reason they're letting them dump here in the community spot, because you really don't want that many people driving 15, 20, 30, or 40 miles to a landfill. And like, there's certain etiquette and protocol with landfills where you kind of want the people who go in there, you want them to know how the system works. Because if you have a bunch of heavy machines, heavy trucks, and dozers, and pushers, excavators, and all this heavy equipment moving around, you got people coming in with their personal pickups, hand unloading stuff. You've created a lot of opportunity for someone to get run over or crushed. So it's really better to have everyone come to a community site in town, dump the trash here, and then load it all up in a truck. Because if you had, you could have 50 cars come through in an hour, and if you had that going through a landfill, like, the odds of a injury or incident is 100%. Because someone's going to make a mistake. They're going to walk away from their vehicle to go talk to someone or ask a question, and a guy that's looking back behind him as he's dumping trash isn't going to be looking forward, because no one should be with 5 feet away from their vehicle ever. If you're in a landfill, just always stay in your vehicle. If you need help, you turn on your hazards and you wave to a guy running a dozer. But mistakes are made, and if someone wasn't sure, they could easily get hit. How's the flooding this week? Fat guy, let's see, MG Toe. The flooding in my area is not bad yet, but there is some concerns. You might have seen this clip. I'm going to queue up something else. There's another video where these guys are working on repairing this road. Nope, that's not that's a short one. And it sounds like bath time's almost over upstairs, so I might have to go upstairs, come back down, or I might not be able to finish this live stream. Once I have to go upstairs to help with bedtime, it's going to be done. But I'm going to leave this clip running, and I'm going to queue up, what else? Something to show you. Google Earth. Might be something worth showing you guys on that. Oh, I'll let you watch your video first. But Google Earth. What was I going to show you? Oh, the issue of potential more flooding. I know there's a few areas in southeast. You know what? I'm going to pause this. Bring this up. Google Earth is a fantastic tool for this. I know there's some areas in the south or southeast, and then along I-29 that's still underwater, and the water has come up again. But over by Fremont, let's see, west of Fremont, between North Bend and Fremont, around Ames, I read an article recently that there's a levee that was breached by Ames. I don't know where the levee is. I kind of want to guess it's along one of these straight lines. I haven't gone to check it out yet. But someone was saying in an article that one of these levees by Ames is now busted. It's gone. About 1,000-foot gap. And the local board, there's like an Ames levee management board that's responsible for maintaining it, or kind of being the supervisory board over it, said it's going to take millions of dollars to fix this levee, and their budget right now is $30,000. So Ames, or the board that's affiliated with this levee, and Ames, to understand, why that's so absurd to think, oh, Ames can take care of it. Ames is not like an incorporated town. This is Ames. It's like an unincorporated village, so to speak. It's like, it's not really a town. It's just like this little village. So it's not like they have a revenue source for building or coming up with new funds to rebuild the levee. That's going to take state or federal aid to rebuild this levee. And the guy that's in charge of this board was saying, he's like, no one's working on this levee. He's like, I've tried to reach out to people, but we can't get anyone to rebuild this levee. And what's going to happen was, like, this is Platte, and Platte River's called the Platte because it's like an Indian word for flat, I believe. So don't quote me on that, but that's how I understand it. But the Platte is known for going very wide, and it's got the bluffs on the south side, so it's not going to go south much. It's always going to go north, and that's what happened. It flooded through here, and this is Inglewood. If you saw a lot of flooded videos from Fremont, it was all in this area because the Platte River spread out this way, took out all these roads, took out a levee. Let's see, County Road 19. I think this is County Road 19. Or what was it? Yeah, I think this is right. It took out a levee here. Once it broke this, that whole area flooded. And my boss was actually one of the guys that went out here, Mitch Sawyer with S2, the trash company. They had a lot of heavy equipment. His brother runs Sawyer's Construction. They all brought out some equipment and trucks, and the crew of guys, along with Papa Trucking and some other folks, they did a lot of work to restore the levee to keep the water from flowing more into town. But this was all the flooded areas. But back to the story of this Ames guy. So no one's currently working on it, and he's concerned because our flood season is usually like May and June, because that's when you start getting the the snow melt from Colorado or further west and north. So once we get those heavy thunderstorms in May and June, along with snow melt from the west, this is going to be like, our problems aren't over, is a basic way to put it. And I can't predict what's going to happen because I don't know all the current systems that are compromised. If you had been watching the other videos I posted, here's Scribner. I took off from this road once, and I flew over and shot straight down looking at this gate. I had a really nice shot looking at this gate here, where you had a levee that's right here, and the gate would go across right there. And Scribner was its own little island. You can kind of see this green bar that goes all around. That's the Scribner levee system. Probably one of the best examples I saw during the flood, because this whole thing, they were all like completely surrounded by water. But the town itself did really, really well. So their levee system, but they're in the floodplain. Like, they are definitely like below, I think they're below a certain grade where any new state building or other building has to be built up on a mound of dirt before they can break ground because it's so low. So in theory, in my opinion, as I understand it, their levee system is particularly robust because they understand their vulnerability. Whereas it might have been Fremont and some of these communities closer to the Platte River, they thought, their current system might have been fine because they never really had much exposure to vulnerability with the floods. But we were all caught off guard with this one. North Bend, that was another one. I have a video where the entire town was pretty much underwater. And we have some extra dumpsters there because some of these communities we can't get into to service for trash. And we have to have them bring the trash out of the community into a community dumpster. And we dump that for them. So, ugh. But North Bend was another one that was kind of isolated and cut off once it was all flooded. Oh, Matt's leaving. Good night, Matt. Okay. I've been missing some of the comments. All right, Mary's asking, is FEMA providing homes? I don't know. I don't think so. Or like I haven't seen or heard of like trailers being brought in for temporary housing. I don't know what the rule is with that. And I talked to a guy at work who said when he came from Oklahoma that there was like a tornado that displaced a lot of people, and they all moved into a department store, and they lived there for like 6 to 8 months, and some got like really acclimated, like it was dorm style living, and they had to kick them out basically. So I don't know what the plan is, if they're going to keep using J.C. Penney's old department store, or if they're going to try to come up with some sort of trailer system. So I don't know what FEMA's doing there. Let's see if I can find you another clip. You might have seen, yeah, you saw that one already. You might have saw that too. Let's go back to the questions. Do I have digital photos of large swath of damaged areas? Not really. I've been doing 360. Okay, that's Abdullah. I've been doing these 360-degree virtual photos, and I'll show you briefly. Like these, this is a 360 photo, and I'll post these on Facebook. And this is a photo when it's posted properly. It's an explorable 360 photo, but in this way, it's hard to view. It doesn't make sense. That's the one where you can kind of scroll and explore it yourself, and that's on the Facebook. I'll put it, if you look up myairimage.com on Facebook. Oh, did I post? Yeah, if you look up myairimage.com on Facebook, you'll see some of those photos that I've posted, and you can kind of look and explore them yourself. But as far as like panoramics or still image photos, I haven't done those. Mostly because I was so caught up with doing video. And really, I mean, it would probably just take a minute to switch between the two. Oh, in this video, you'll probably see I landed on the car again deliberately. I've been using, it's a glass sunroof that I'll land on, and I can pull the drone in. Low volume. Oh, yeah. How are the farms that are farther from the... Oh, Sylvia might be right. Platte could be French, I think. That's one of those things I always preface. Like, I know it's not English words, so Sylvia, I could defer to you with very little convincing of me required. The low volume, if any, heads up. Okay, which drone do you use? I'll try to get the mic a little bit closer. I drift a little bit when I'm trying to bounce between the two images or two screens. Let's see, I'll bring up one more video file. I've been using a Mavic 2 Zoom, and on occasion I'll use a Mavic 2 Pro, because my dad, once he saw how easy it was to use the Mavic 2 Zoom, he wanted the Pro because it has a nicer image. Okay, good. Good to know, Wilman. Hold on, I'm getting some feedback from my speakers on the headphones. Let's see, I'll get you another clip. Oh, this is over by Elkhorn River. I think I've used these clips already on YouTube. No volume now. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'll check. What happened there? Testing. What happened there? Okay. Huh. I wonder what happened. If we keep having issues, I may have to stop soon. Got to do kids' bedtime anyway. Okay. What could have done that? Testing. That spiked it. Testing. Testing. What would have done that? Huh. Whoop. Is that any better? Any better? Oh, okay. All right. Oh, so you're getting the message. To answer the question of drones, Mavic 2 Zoom, and sometimes a Mavic 2 Pro. I shoot it all in 4K. Okay. Oh, you're hearing. Well, okay. So you're getting volume. Okay. I wonder what that was. Some of you might get some peaking too. Might have to back off it a little bit. All right. But to answer the previous question, which I put in the text, I use a Mavic 2 Zoom and a Mavic 2 Pro. I borrowed from my dad because he likes the Pro because of the larger chip size. I like the Zoom because it can zoom. And they both shoot in 4K. And yeah, I'll probably wrap this up soon. I'll tell you what you're looking at right now. That is the Elkhorn River. That is now dry. Not dried, but it's just standing water. The Elkhorn, that strip of sand is where the Elkhorn River used to run. And what we should see soon is, Stern PR Marketing. I need to send you an email yet. Stern, I will email you after this. I sometimes get really bad about getting to emails because I work a day job, and then we all started getting started with hay farming because my YouTube channel started off as like just doing stuff around the farm. And I might be making a pivot here soon, which maybe I'll just post that in a video question and then hit the thumbs up, folks. He's giving us information. Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah, I like thumbs up. That'd be great. That's the other thing I'm not really good at right now. Glad you can sympathize, Stern. Hopefully it's a good, productive, busy. But yeah, thumbs up. Yeah, ET, thanks for the reminder. Like this whole idea of constantly promoting myself. I come from a background where it's really hard to talk myself up. I think it's this Nebraska humility thing, or this Midwest like humbleness. I think a lot of people get it. So to be like kind of like demanding people to give you affirmation seems kind of out of character, but it's also essential to make these things work. So did Elkhorn dry up? I think so. I can get into Omaha through Waterloo. Waterloo was a lot worse, which is by Elkhorn. And I went through Waterloo a little bit to get into the west side of Omaha the other day, but it was all covered with sand. A lot of it was. You did a disaster mapping north of Missouri, and you'll find it on LinkedIn. Please watch it and leave your comments. Yeah, Abdullah, go if you find my email. I can tell you it. I don't know if I want to tell you it yet. If you go to my About section on the YouTube channel, and you can click on the thing to review or reveal email, send me an email to that link of the mapping by the Missouri, because I'd be more than happy to check it out. And if I wanted to use it for a video, I'll try to let you know and give you the proper accreditation that you need if you want traffic kind of directed towards it. But the next video I make, I don't know when it's going to happen. I want to do it soon. I got behind because I spent way too much time trying to put together this live streaming system. Hold on. Let me see if I can switch back to the camera. Okay, there I am. So just to be able to figure out how to do that took a little bit too much time because I had to get this new hardware to connect the camera to the computer and then get this OBS Studio to communicate with YouTube or Facebook. And I feel like I have a grasp of it, but the amount of time it took me to figure out is kind of embarrassing because I wasted more than a day. So I'm behind on some hay prep, farm prep stuff, and I got to go to work tomorrow morning. So yeah, as Stern said, she's certainly sympathetic to the idea of getting behind on stuff, and it's a juggle of what do you want to prioritize versus like what's the most fun to do. And making videos is fun. Picking up garbage, sometimes fun, but not always the best. Pickle P, thanks for the comment. Yep. Vancouver, awesome. Oh, amazing. Great. Maybe send me an email, and I'll certainly be open to having a conversation with you. Oh yeah, this is an ATR. What was it called? I can tell you if you're interested. Maybe I'll put that in the information or description later. Audio Technica 2100. Yeah, practice does make perfect. All right, so amazing. Thanks for that comment. If you want to email me, feel free to, and I'll maybe Skype or chat or something with you sometime. And Abdullah, like I said, feel free to email me as well if you want me to check out something you have on LinkedIn. And yeah, I think this was a good second attempt. And I hope you guys have a great evening. And yeah, and what was said earlier, hit the like button. I guess that does something. And yeah, we'll do it. Oh, thanks. Amazing. All right, everyone, have a good evening. And I'm blabbering. I've been blabbering for an hour, but now I'm just kind of drifting. So have a good one. This has been fun. I feel like I'm getting the hang of it, and we'll chat later. Oh, and I also had the idea of doing some sort of photo giveaway, like framing one of my photos from the myarimage.com. I got to come up with some sort of system. If that sounds fun, maybe put that in the comments after I post it. All right. Cool. Later, Abdullah, or Abu. I hope I say that right. No disrespect if I'm not. And have a good one. Thank you, Pickle P, as well. Mary, good questions. Amazing. Can't wait to hear from you. And Stern, I'll send you an email soon. Okay. Good night.